guys, welcome to FORDY Rounds with Chris Ford, aka FORDY. Thanks for coming back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. This video is all about the London Marathon. It's part of the series of the build up to the London Marathon that I'm doing. As you may already know, as part of my running vlogs, you've seen that I'm training for the London Marathon this year. So what I've decided to do a little bit different as preparation and build up to the London Marathon 2018. I'm doing a series of videos with regards to exactly the London Marathon, the preparation and stuff like that. I've already done one on why I'm doing the marathon and the kind of sponsorship side of things and what's involved in that, and what I've done to get some sponsors involved and raise some money for a charity. So this video is going to be all about planning, because it's now March and we're getting even closer. It's hard enough just doing the training, but you've also got to start thinking about the logistics side of it, all about the day, how it's going to go, even the week before, the day before, all that kind of stuff. So I thought it'd be cool as part of this series to go into that and tell you what I'm doing and give you some thoughts and some ideas, because it may help you out. So let's get stuck in.
Are you listening? Damn.
Hey guys, so this video, as I said to you, is part of the London Marathon series that I'm putting together. This is number 2. There was one previously to that, which is all about why I'm doing the London Marathon, and with regards to sponsorship and stuff like that. I thought I'd touch on that in the previous video. So it's now March, we're getting closer. So I thought I would touch about the preparation, because I think myself, as I get closer to the event, I want to start getting organised and things like that. As you may have seen in some of my other videos, I'm quite a structured guy. So I wanted to do a bit now on start planning and things like that, start looking at train times and stuff like that. So as you're probably aware, the Virgin London Marathon is on April the 22nd, which is a Sunday, which logistically should be okay, but obviously, you know, some train services do and don't run on Sundays, so again, that's something to think about. They do recommend that public transport is the best way to get there, i.e. to and from the event. So it's really important to start thinking now about your public transport and how you're going to get there and stuff like that. You've got to bear in mind that you've got to get to Greenwich by 8:30. Now I looked at that, now I'm up in Hertfordshire, and for me to get over to Greenwich by 8:30 on a Sunday is a bit of a nightmare, particularly because I have a morning routine when I'm doing events and running and stuff like that, where I like to have breakfast at a certain time. And I thought about it and I couldn't really work out how I was going to do it. I looked at trainline.com and I looked at the TfL website, and I tried to plan a route, how I could get to the event with the least amount of stress and within the time frame, and I couldn't do it. So what I decided to do is book a hotel up in Stratford, and I think you really need to, if you haven't done it already and you're thinking about booking a hotel, make sure you're going to do it now, because chances are they probably all sold out anyway. I booked one in Stratford, and the reason I booked one in Stratford is because if you look on the tube app and say go to the tfl.org.uk website, you can see the DLR route and you can see the Jubilee route. So what I've done is I'm thinking of going basically Stratford all the way down to Greenwich Park, and I'm going to jump on at the start of Stratford, so it's going to be less busy. It's still going to be busy, but it's going to be less busy. And I'm going to get down to Greenwich Park. Now, if you're going to come in on the train, you've got to think to yourself about the other options you've got available to you. Now, there are, with each of the starts, they recommend like a different train station. If you go on the Virgin website, the Virgin London Marathon website, you'll see a picture about the start. If you're going, now if I might get this wrong, but if you're going to Blackheath, you need to go from Charing Cross, Victoria, and there was one other, but I can't remember what it is. Waterloo. And then if you're going to Greenwich, which I am, or Maze Hill, which is basically like the red, for Blackheath is the blue start. For the red start, which I am, is Greenwich, and Maze Hill is also for the green start. But anyway, basically if you're going red or green, you need to go to Cannon Street to get the train over to Greenwich Park. That's pretty much the train station you need to come in from. Where the other two, as I said to you, if you go Blackheath, you need to be going from Charing Cross, from Waterloo or Victoria to get the line over on the overhead line. But I say you can do the DLR. I mean, like for example, you can go to the Cutty Sark and stuff like that. There is other ways of doing it. But you definitely need to start thinking now how you're going to connect, how you're going to get there, because it can be quite complicated. It probably is even more complicated than you think, especially because like they close roads off, and there's all different ways you can get in and out of London. So start thinking about that now, and get your sort of transportation sorted. I've done mine, I think you should do yours, and then you need to start thinking about actually the race day. So let's go and get stuck in that. Okay guys, so race day, thinking about actual race day of the London Marathon, one of the first things you need to think of, because it's probably the night before, is to sort your race bag out, do your race bag prep, I would call it. I've done a video actually on the London Marathon. It's called London Marathon Must Watch, and I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's a load of tips and little random things that people told me and I looked up when I was searching, of stuff to pack in your bag that you might not think of, and little tips to bring to the start, and that you've got to finish. Definitely check that video out. I'll stick a link up if I can. But it's London Marathon Must Watch. You should really check it out. But you really need to think about and start thinking about now. It's in March, what you're going to be taking to the start with you. Because if you need to order things like a portable phone charger, like I picked one out with Primark for like £6, and like all the different stuff that you might be thinking of, like even like an old tracksuit. Let's say you haven't got one or it don't fit you, or just random things like a hat, a cheap pair of gloves, stuff like that you need to start thinking about getting together. Like, I don't know, if you need Imodium for the day, should you start thinking about getting it out? Yeah, definitely. Start getting yourself organised. Start thinking about things now, because it's March. You're going to be blown out with all your training into March. You're no doubt going to be doing a half marathon. I'm doing 2. And it's just going to really race up on you, exactly. And all of a sudden you're going to be racing and you haven't even thought about it. So start thinking about your race day prep, and I think that starts with your race day bag. So start making sure you've got stuff in there, baby wipes, black sacks, all that kind of stuff. Check out my video, but start getting organised now. The most important thing is to get to the start and be as less stressed as you can. And the closer you get to the event, the more stress you're going to get. So start now, get yourself, I mean, this is my big half bag, just as an example. So you want to start thinking about filling up one of those with bits and bobs as you're out and about now. Give yourself a list and start adding things in. I've started doing it, as I said, I've started adding like the portable chargers and all that kind of little stuff that you don't think about, and the Imodium and the Nurofen and, you know, the baby wipes, and just start putting a little pile together and get yourself sorted. I think it's really important to get organised, because you want the least amount of stress possible, say, because we're all dealing with the training. And then I think you've got to start thinking about your kind of race day support. So let's get stuck in with that. Okay guys, so yeah, it's March, and believe it or not, I've already started thinking about my race day support, the fans. No, it sounds silly, but I think it's really important with a marathon or any event to make sure that you've got people there supporting you. If you're lucky and you've got a good family and they're happy to come out and watch you, it can play a key part in you getting the event done. So with the marathon being so big, so many people taking part, and the timings, i.e. it's a Sunday and roads are going to be closed and there's going to be a lot of people moving around London, I've already started thinking about where my family and friends can go, where it's easier for them, because bless them, they ain't going to have a clue. So I've started already to look at the logistics for them, because I want them in a position where it will help me. Like for example, I want somebody just after halfway, somebody over Canary Wharf, give me a bit of a boost. And those kind of things. My brother's going to be coming with me to Greenwich, so he needs to get himself from Greenwich over to a point where he can meet the other family, and then they go over to the finish line. So again, you need to get on the TfL website, and you need to start planning where your family and friends can go. Tower Hill's obviously Tower Bridge is going to be manic, it's going to be crazy, there's going to be a lot of people there, it's the halfway point. Cutty Sark's going to be banged out. Canary Wharf's a little bit quieter, where I've gone up there before. It's definitely a good place to go, especially if you've got kids, because there's toilets and, you know, you've got the big Waitrose and stuff like that. It's a little bit easy to get out and about, and then you can just jump on, I think it's the Jubilee line, over to Westminster or somewhere along the line. You can link it up somehow, but again, start thinking about how you can start positioning your friends and relatives around the place, and they're also their travel plans, because it is going to be a nightmare. If it's anything like the Great North Run, it's going to be packed out. And actually, when I went up to see my brother-in-law do it, I didn't even bother go to the finish. I came home with the kids because it was madness, and the in-laws went over to pick him up from the finish, and it was just crazy. So again, be considerate to the people who are coming up to support you, and start thinking now about where they're going to be, and as I say, position them where you think you might not necessarily struggle, but where it's going to make a difference to you support-wise, where you may feel you need a pick-up. And put them in that place. And I say, try and pick places that are less busy, try and pick places that are near stations, that, whether they're coming in, like for example, my parents are going to be coming in, they're going to be going past the Limehouse. I've told them to get off at Limehouse, jump out, watch me, jump back on and go into the city. Those are the kind of things you start needing to think about. Again, trainline.com is a wicked website, TFL's a wicked website. Get on there, get the tube map up and start planning and start thinking about that, because then you've got to start thinking about the finish and how that's all going to work, because that's going to be chaos. So let's get stuck into the finish. Hi guys, yeah, so the finish, obviously it's going to be great. We're going to get there and we're going to just smash it, and we're going to go through the line and we're going to all do PBs, which is great, and we're going to get our medals. But think about this, it takes about 40 minutes apparently to get through the finish line. So you're going to have people coming over to meet you, and it's going to be complete chaos. Also, bear in mind that they say that whatever time you're expecting to do, you're going to be slightly slower. So as you're working out when you're going to get through there and when you're going to be there, just have that in the back of your mind, that you may be a pinch slower, and the fact that it takes 40 minutes to get through. It is chaos over at the finish line. I mean, it's organised chaos, but it's just the sheer amount of people. Now, Horse Guards Parade, I don't know if everyone's been there, but in London, it's a lovely wide open space, but there's going to be a lot of runners going through there. They have the letters up and they say to meet up at the surname. So, I mean, if people have done events, if you haven't done one of these events, then you probably, when you do one of your half marathons, it's one of the bigger ones, you may come across this, but they stick up loads of letters on trees or something, and then basically you meet your people or your friends, family, whatever, at your letter. So like FORDY, I'd be there, so I'd meet my family and friends there. Or you can meet at your charity event. That's another good way of doing it, to organise to meet at your charity event. What I would say is, it's a great tip that my brother-in-law actually gave me from when he did it, is everyone's going to want to come over probably and meet you and see you after you've done your event, which is fantastic, and help you celebrate the fact that you've completed it. But a little tip is to send one or two of your party to the surname bit, and then everybody else arrange to meet somewhere else. Now, there's loads of wicked places. I mean, you're in the West End of London, there's some superb pubs, bars and restaurants outside of that area. He recommended to me that one or two of them are going to meet me at F, and then we are then going to go to a pre-arranged, predetermined place, and then everyone's going to meet up. Because if you're a 10-strong crowd and you're trying to meet at F or G or whatever, it's going to be chaos, and everyone's going to be ringing because they're trying to get over from X, Y, Z on the course, and it can be a bit of a problem because there's no cell phone service or anything like that. It just adds ag and stress to after you've done your race. So, big tip: get one or two people to meet you at your surname, and then go and celebrate somewhere else. I think that's really important. You definitely need to go and pick up the vibes in London, because especially around like Trafalgar Square and places like that, it's a really good vibe, and it's a really good environment to be around. There's a lot of people who say have finished, and people are celebrating and stuff like that, sitting outside the bars and pubs. It's just a really cool vibe. So yeah, definitely think about that at the finish. Just say, send like a forward party to come and meet you, because it is murder. And I think that's probably that. There is a couple of other bits that I think that we should probably talk about, other stuff to think about as well, so let's get stuck into them. So I think the last couple of things to think about, really, let's put it as other stuff to think about. You've got to think about the days, the week, because you've done your taping, the week leading up to the event. I mean, we're all going to be taping and stuff, so as we're in the planning mood and you guys are going to get organised like me now, yeah, you start need to think about the week before. Have a look at your diaries, see if you can move some stuff about. You want to try and rest up. Any event you do, try and rest up as best you can the week before. Don't be going out on any benders, don't be having any late nights if you can avoid it. Try not to be doing any long journeys. Try and reduce stress at work if you can. Any meetings that you can like knock off to the following week, do them. But yeah, all that kind of stuff. You want to try and reduce that stress, that impact on your life that week. So again, try now. It's March. The start of March. Start planning that. Start thinking about your diary for that week leading up. I know we've all got to schlep it over to the old expo and get our numbers and all that, and that's ag. But I say actually I will be doing a video on the expo. That'll be the next one of this series that when we go on to the expo. But yeah, you've got that week to deal with, and you're going to want to go and have a look at that and have a butchers and stuff. So yeah, just think about that week leading up to it. Just try and move stuff about, try and plan now, and sort of book that week as sort of a chill out week for yourselves. As I say, don't be going on any benders or anything like that, and just try and think about that, I would. And then the night before, again, think about where you are, your location. I've deliberately planned that, like I said earlier, I'm going to stay in Stratford, but I won't leave the home until I've had my sort of evening meal. I'm going to have my bowl of pasta like I usually do, and then I'll go over to Stratford. Those kind of little details, those little things, those little routines I think are important. So yeah, just think about that as well. Just think about where you're going to be the day before, the night before. Make sure you've got everything in place that you need to have in place. Start thinking now. I say this might seem a strange video to do, but with any big event, I really think the more planning you do earlier, the better. I mean, it sounds silly, but I've even booked a hotel for an event I'm doing in October. That's how organised I am. I know everybody's not like that, and some people don't like that, that's fine. But I'm just saying, I think as a bit of advice, with any of these events, these large events, the more organised you are, the less stress you have and the less anxiety you have leading up to the event, and that can only be a good thing because it will negatively impact your training. But that's it, that's what I wanted to touch on. I wanted to talk about the planning that you need to start thinking about for this event, this large event, the London Marathon. This, I say, is the second video of this series. The next one, it's going to be a bit of a bigger gap now, but I think the next one I'll probably do will be the Expo. And when I go there, to show you all about that, how I was involved in that and stuff like that, give you a bit of feedback on that. But yeah, that's probably it. So yeah, I hope that's useful for you. Got any questions, stick them below. Got any comments, stick them below. Make sure you're hitting the like button, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button, make sure you're following FORDY Runs. I'm on all the social platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that. You can hit me up on there. Go to FORDYRuns.com if you want to get in touch. Obviously you can get in touch by any of those other social platforms. But yeah, I hope that's useful, and I'll catch you later.